If you've got access to the coolest car in the world, the last thing you want is to be held back from driving anywhere you want to go. Luckily, Cybernet is here to lend a hand for Spy Hunter 2 on the PlayStation 2. So grab a pen and jot this cheat down. At the main menu, press L1, R2, L2, R1, R1, L2, R2, and L1. We've just given you all the missions in this game. That's right, now you can go anywhere your heart desires. And as an added bonus, you'll also have all the weapons available to deal with your enemies. So enjoy. Who's little, blue, and fast as lightning? It can only be Sonic the Hedgehog. He's back and racing his way onto the Game Boy Advance for a battle of a lifetime. On your mark, get set, let's go for the ultimate showdown between good and evil. One day, while wandering around Emerald Beach, our hero happened upon a battered robot. After trying to communicate with it and receiving only a minimal response, Sonic gets the ingenious idea to have his industrious pal Tails fix it. Unfortunately, Shadow also has his eye on this prize, and so the inevitable battle begins. You'll play as one of 9 lovable characters, including Amy Rose and Rouge the Bat. Each one has his own strengths and combat styles, so choose carefully. For example, Knuckles is a good, straightforward fighter. The combat is done fairly well, and the graphics are colorful. Our biggest problem with the single-player mode is that after defeating an opponent the required 5 times to move on, he sometimes challenges you to fight all over again. We kind of think winning once should do the trick. But the ability to link up multiple GBAs together for some 4-player action is where this title comes alive. Sure, it's not the fast-paced racing Sonic we all know and love, but this little blue-haired rascal is quickly, and I do mean quickly, bashing a place into our hearts. Nice job. Next up, it's the 5th installment of a wildly popular Nintendo series. Grab a few friends and gather around the GameCube because you're invited to a party, a Mario Party, our game of the week. How do you keep a series that's based on simplistic board games fresh year after year? Easy. Add small innovations, new modes of play, and above all else, keep it fun. And that's just what the developers did here. The objective is once again to win the most minigames. And while the straightforward approach doesn't sound like much, it's the thrill derived from these challenges that makes this party one you don't want to miss. To get started, you move around the board collecting stars by competing in one of over 60 minigames. The pace is relentless since these tend to take less than a minute to complete. And with so much frantic battling, it's impossible to become bored with the action, so there's never a dull moment. This edition also boasts improved graphics that take on a more 3D and colorful visual style. And in the single-player game, the notoriously long waiting time for the computer to make its moves has been decreased. In the Super Duel mode, you can use the money you've earned to purchase different car parts. This lets you customize your vehicles to create and battle with the ultimate party machine. There are also bonus games like volleyball, hockey, and card party, which provides a good change of pace. And just as in previous titles, the most fun comes from when you and your buddies compete for supremacy. Next time you find yourself in a room full of people, break out Mario Party 5 and show them why it's our game of the week. Is the hustle and bustle of city dwelling becoming too hectic for you? Well, here's your chance to return to a simpler time and get back to nature in Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life for the GameCube. This is the very first appearance of the Harvest Moon series on the GameCube, following nearly 10 other appearances on other systems. As always, the setup remains the same. You own and operate a farm. That means you'll perform various mundane tasks like planting crops and feeding the animals. Now, while we admit this type of sim doesn't sound too exciting, fans of this popular franchise will tell you it can be a very gratifying experience. You start off with very little, just a house, some basic tools, and a cow. Then it's time to pull up your bootstraps and get to work because you'll have an endless amount of chores to complete. On a typical day, you'll milk cows, collect eggs, water crops, tend the field, and shear some sheep. Whew! Talk about exhausting. Living by yourself on the farm can get a bit lonely, so you'll want to find a wife. Raising a family and creating a happy social life is another big part of Harvest Moon. You should also build up relationships with your neighbors since they can help you accomplish certain objectives. The game is broken up into 6 sections that carry you through a lifetime. It's extremely deep with loads of options to keep you busy. Graphically, the game really shines, and the easy-to-use interface makes farm life a breeze. But while the camera system is nice and responsive, the controls are actually a bit too sensitive. This can be annoying, especially when you're trying to water a field and you keep missing the correct block of grass. A Wonderful Life isn't for everyone, but it's a great change of pace from the destruction and violence we see elsewhere. Its positive message proves that the simplest things in life are quite often the most rewarding. Batman is always known for being prepared for every possible situation. So how does he do it? He has Cybernet helping him out. And now you do too. So grab a pen and jot down this cheat for Rise of Sinzu for the PlayStation 2. At the press start screen, while holding all 4 shoulder buttons, press down, up, left, and right. Holy preparedness, Batman! You've just unlocked everything in this game! That's right, now no matter what or who is threatening the city of Gotham, the Dark Knight has instantly got it covered. Sorry, evildoers, you're no match for this Cape Crusader. Coming up, fight terror with these ladies, flirt in the virtual world, and rid the land of evil. For the popular Japanese franchise turned video game that takes place in the future. Terrorists are still on the loose, but the SciGirls are here to save the day on the PlayStation 2. This game features 2 separate female characters and independent storylines. Ice specializes in firearms and long-range attacks requiring stealth, accuracy, and intelligence, while Asuka is a master ninja deft at swordsmanship, close combat, and precision stunts. So choose the lady that best fits your style and get going. There's a world to save. While loaded with potential, SciGirls is unfortunately mediocre in nearly every way. The generic plot doesn't keep you engaged in this story and only exacerbates the many disappointments. To begin with, the controls are simplistic to the point that they're almost irrelevant as you're able to effortlessly dispatch numerous standard enemies. Also, the camera system is erratic, letting foes easily attack from off-screen. This problem continues when trying to navigate through an obstacle-ridden terrain, bringing us to our next setback, the repetitive level design. Despite traveling to many spots around the globe, each location appears extremely similar to each other. Compounding the monotony of the levels are the tedious puzzles, which require you to backtrack through previously explored areas looking for key cards to a new location. And for some reason, a room resets itself once you leave, so when you move a box to a specific location and leave, upon re-entering the room, the box returns to its original position, forcing you to move it again. SciGirls could have been a great game if the project were in the hands of more skillful developers. We think women can be great warrior agents, but these ladies would better serve their country at home. If you've been playing iNinja on the PlayStation 2 and have been struggling to eliminate all your fierce enemies, then grab a pen and jot down this cheat. Pause the game, and while holding L1 and R1, press circle, square, circle, triangle, triangle, square, circle, and square. No matter how many foes are against you, the odds are now in your favor because we've upgraded your sword. That's right, one swipe of your blade is enough to take down your opponents, letting you easily accomplish your mission. So enjoy. Infantry, take out those bunkers. Man your turret and destroy that Sherman tank. You give the orders because you're the armchair general in the real-time strategy game Desert Rats vs. Africa Corps on the PC. Based on the historic battles between the British and German forces during the North African campaign of World War II, this game lets you take command of 70 authentic combat units. Everything from tanks to infantry soldiers is at your disposal. You'll then use strategy to fight through 2 campaigns and 20 missions ranging from search and destroy to convoy escorts. The inclusion of a pause feature gives the gameplay a turn-based feel. This allows you to input 3 commands in advance while planning your best strategy. You'll need it when things become really intense, as some battles with 150 units are truly epic. Another neat feature is that damage is location-specific, so you can disable a tank's maneuvering capability, then repair it for use against your foes. Some might think a desert location would be boring. Not here. The developers have created a fully destructible battlefield as an important aspect. Tanks can be dug into the sand for protection, while soldiers can hide within buildings. You can even drive over and knock down trees to create barricades. The visuals are uniformly excellent with graphically gorgeous backdrops. Real-time shadows, damage effects, and explosions all add to the realistic atmosphere. Details such as tank tracks and vehicle physics are top-notch. Although Desert Rats vs. Africa Corps is well made, it does lack truly unique elements, adding nothing to the genre. But the high production values and first-rate graphics make this an enthralling experience. Okay, it's time for Cybernet's Top 10 Xbox games. At number 10, we battle the creatures and villains of the Forgotten Realms in Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. These special agents are hard at work keeping your Xbox free from the threat of terrorism in Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six 3 at 9. At 8, strap on your safety belt and put pedal to the metal for some stock car racing excitement in our racing evolution. Become at one with your sword as we get ready for the martial arts adventure of Tenchu Return from Darkness at 7. At 6, ignoring all speed limits and taking the corners as fast as possible, there's no slowing down in Project Gotham Racing 2. Racing into our 5th spot, it's the incredibly fast Sonic and his heroic friends for some mile-a-minute action. At 4, becoming king is no easy task, especially for the Prince of Persia, who's fighting for his life in the sands of time. Everyone's favorite spy is James Bond 007 in Everything or Nothing, battling bad guys and wooing the ladies at 3. At number 2, science fiction, action, and a great mystery combine to make the awesome Deus Ex Invisible War. But it's Sam Fisher of Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow who returns to the top as our Xbox number 1. It's time to turn the lights down low, put on some soft music, and let the rules of attraction take over. If you ever wanted to become a modern-day Romeo, here's your chance in Singles, Flirt Up Your Life for the PC. From the outset, gamers will notice obvious similarities to The Sims. Like that famous franchise, you'll control characters and take care of their needs while guiding them through everyday activities. So you'll provide them with food, entertainment, and most importantly, companionship. You see, this adult-oriented game puts the emphasis on romantic relationships. You begin by choosing 2 characters, one male and one female. Ultimately, you'll want them to fall in love, which means they need to interact and spend quality time together. With just a click of the mouse, they'll flirt, tell jokes, watch television, and even share household chores. All the characters have their own distinct AI, but with time, you can boost and alter certain personality traits. Although the characters have jobs, they'll spend all their time in their fabulous flat. It's a very cool apartment, and you can fix it up just as you wish, adding wallpaper and paintings. Also, making the duo share activities like working out, playing guitar, and taking a dip in the pool helps them create a bond and makes them happy humanoids. This game has plenty of options and variables, so there's always something to do. Fortunately, it's a pretty easy game to navigate with a smartly designed menu and interface. Graphics are also sharp, with a good use of colors, and the characters move with smooth animation. Flirt Up Your Life doesn't have the depth of The Sims, and it's not quite as polished either, but this could turn out to be a very successful franchise. Now, let's hit the dance floor and get this party started. A demon is unleashed upon your land, and it's up to you to stop it. So grab your sword and prepare to slice and dice your way to high adventure with Sacred on the PC. You'll begin this fantasy action RPG by choosing one of 6 different heroes, from a gladiator to a vampiress. Now you're ready to get into the swing of things and begin an epic quest to rid the world of evil. With 30 main missions and 200 subquests, you'll slay monsters, help peasants, and rescue maidens across many various regions. This is a huge open-ended world, and with over 70% of the land available to explore right away, it's best to acquire a horse as soon as possible. This not only lets you travel faster, but it gives you the advantage of horseback combat. If you're not careful, though, you might lose your ride. You'll encounter many classic fantasy monsters throughout your travels. The battles are exciting and often tricky, especially when you're outnumbered. Thankfully, when the fighting becomes too intense, you can have a non-playable companion fight alongside you. And if you happen to tire of the whole combat experience, you can pillage a village. That's right, gold coins and other various treasures will come in handy as you visit the local blacksmith to improve your weapons and armor. The beautiful graphics mix 2D landscapes with highly textured 3D character models. Details such as ambient wildlife are a nice touch, adding to the atmosphere. Plus, the camera controls are solid and even allow you to zoom in for a more intimate view of the action. Although the storyline in Sacred is rather typical, it delivers solid gameplay elements and offers plenty to do within its vast world. That's all we've got time for this week, game fans, but don't worry, Cybernet will be back soon with more great reviews. Don't forget to keep in touch via email. So until we return, here's more futuristic fighting from Battle Engine Aquila, compliments of Cybernet.